The champagne flute shattered against the polished teak deck like my heart in that split-second freeze-frame of betrayal. Austin's lips were locked with that stranger's under the dim glow of the lounge's string lights, his hands roaming places that had been mine alone for 3 years. "Ethan? Shit! Wait!" he gasped, pulling away too late, his voice a pathetic echo swallowed by the salty Atlantic roar. I bolted, the cruise ship's endless corridors blurring into a labyrinth of regret, my chest heaving as if the ocean itself had punched me. How the hell had we gotten here? From lazy Sundays in our Brooklyn walk-up to this floating hell of tuxedos and tropical drinks. But as I slammed into the service elevator, a voice cut through the panic. "Hey, you look like you could use a lifeline." The elevator dinged open on deck 7, spilling me into the humid night air of the promenade. Miami's skyline had long faded astern, leaving us adrift in the Gulf Stream, a glittering behemoth of excess cutting through ink-black waters. I stumbled toward the rail, the faint thrum of bass from the disco below vibrating up through my soles. My tie was askew, shirt untucked, ruins of what was supposed to be our anniversary surprise. Austin had pitched this cruise as our reset, after months of him pulling away, buried in late nights at the ad agency. I'd bought it, hook, line, and that godforsaken bottle of Veuve. The voice belonged to a guy leaning against the life preservers, nursing a beer in a faded Mets cap pulled low. He was built like he spent weekends hauling lobster traps. Broad shoulders under a linen shirt rolled to the elbows, forearms corded with veins that spoke of real work, not gym selfies. Late 20s, maybe, with a jawline sharp enough to cut glass and eyes the color of storm clouds over Coney Island. He straightened up, concern etching his face as he took in my wreck of a self. "Whoa, easy there, cowboy," he said, his drawl pure Jersey Shore, thick with that unpolished edge that made New Yorkers sound like poets. "You hit your head or something? Or is it the open bar finally biting back?" I laughed, but it came out jagged, a bark that scraped my throat raw. "Boyfriend. Cheating. Right there in the Starlight Lounge. Happy anniversary to me." The words tumbled out, hot and unfiltered, like puking up bad tequila. Why was I spilling to this random? Maybe because the ship felt like a confessional on steroids. Strangers bound by boredom and booze, secrets as disposable as the napkins littering the deck. He winced, setting his beer down with a clink. "Ouch. That's some primetime bullshit. I'm Justin, by the way. Justin Hale. And you are?" "Ethan." "Just Ethan." I wiped my face with the back of my hand, smearing salt and shame. "We live in Brooklyn." He's Austin, tall, blonde, the kind of guy who turns heads in a room full of influencers. Thought this cruise would fix us. Turns out it just amplified the cracks. Justin nodded, slow and deliberate, like he was piecing together a puzzle he'd seen 1,000 times. "Brooklyn. Huh? I'm from Asbury Park originally, but I crash in the city now, freelance photographer, chasing gigs that pay the rent. Cruises like this, they're my bread and butter. Weddings, sunsets, the occasional scandal." He flashed a grin, crooked and knowing, but his eyes stayed soft. "Want to talk about it? Or should I fetch the captain's hook for a dramatic exit? Against every instinct screaming run. Hide. Numb it with room service." I stayed. Maybe it was the way he didn't pry, just handed me his beer and lit a cigarette, the flame flickering like a tiny rebellion against the polished perfection of the ship. We talked, or rather, I vented about Austin's charm offensive 6 months back. How he'd swept me off my feet at a Bushwick art crawl with that lopsided smile and promises of forever. The fights that crept in like fog off the East River. His jealousy over my barista shifts at the queer coffee shop. My resentment at his climbing the corporate ladder while I scraped by on tips and dreams of screenwriting. "You're better off," Justin said after a while, exhaling smoke toward the stars. "Guys like that, they're all flash, no anchor. Seen it too many times through my lens. But you got that quiet fire. The kind that burns steady." I snorted, but warmth bloomed in my chest, unfamiliar and fragile. Flattery from a stranger shouldn't land like that, but out here, with the horizon swallowing our mistakes, it did. We wandered the deck as the clock ticked past midnight, sharing stories like contraband. He told me about shooting a proposal gone wrong in the Keys, guy down on one knee, ring slipping into the surf, while I confessed my script about two lovers unraveling in a snowbound cabin, now gathering dust on my laptop. By the time the crew hosed down the loungers at 2 a.m., I felt lighter, unburdened in a way Austin's apologies never managed. "Thanks, man," I said, clapping his shoulder. It was solid under my palm. "Real. For listening. For not making me feel like a total idiot. Anytime, Ethan just." He winked, scribbling his number on a cocktail napkin. "Hit me up if you need a wingman. Or just someone to drown your sorrows in conch fritters." Pocketed it, watching him melt into the shadows toward the crew quarters. Back in our suite, with its king bed mocking me, I curled under the duvet, the ship's gentle rock lulling me into uneasy sleep. Dreams tangled Austin's betrayal with Justin's laugh, a cocktail of hurt and what-ifs. Dawn broke bloody over the waves, painting the balcony in crimson streaks. Austin was there when I woke, perched on the edge of the bed like a penitent, eyes red-rimmed and hair mussed. "Babe, please." It was nothing, a stupid, drunk mistake. The guy's some finance bro from Philly, gone tomorrow. "I love you. Always have." His voice cracked on the last word, and part of me, the part that remembered lazy mornings tangled in sheets, his head on my chest, wanted to believe him. But the image replayed, hands in hair, bodies pressed too close. "Nothing," I echoed, sitting up, the sheet pooling like surrender. "We came here to fix us, Austin. Not to audition for your midlife crisis." He reached for my hand, but I pulled back. "It's the cruise. Too much booze. Too much freedom. Remember Santorini? That fling you had with the waiter? Don't." The word sliced the air. "That was one night. Years ago. And I told you. Owned it. This? You're not even sorry enough to stop." We spiraled into the familiar dance. Accusations flying like deck chairs in a gale. Tears salting old wounds. By breakfast, we'd patched a brittle truce. Separate activities. Space to breathe. I hit the gym, pounding the treadmill until my lungs burned, sweat blurring the betrayal. The ship was alive with oblivious joy. Families splashing in the pool, couples canoodling over mimosas. I felt like a ghost haunting my own vacation. Lunch found me at the Lido deck buffet, stabbing at a salad like it had personally offended me. That's when Justin appeared, tray in hand, sliding into the seat across from me with the ease of someone who'd crashed enough pity parties. Heard the war drums from across the atrium. "You holding up?" I glanced up, surprised at the relief his face sparked. "Barely." He's all it meant nothing, like that's a get-out-of-jail-free card. And now I'm questioning everything. Our apartment lease, the cat we adopted, that goddamn ring he keeps hinting at. Justin's fork paused mid-air, loaded with grilled mahi-mahi. Ring? As in, marriage? He whistled low. Damn. That's next-level stakes. Look, I ain't one for Hallmark bullshit, but if he's waving diamonds while dipping his wick elsewhere, that's not love, Ethan. That's leverage. We ate in companionable silence after that, the clatter of silverware a buffer against the ache. He steered the talk to lighter waters, his latest gig shooting a pride float for Stonewall's anniversary, the absurdity of wrangling drag queens in sequins under July heat. I found myself laughing, real and unguarded, for the first time since boarding. Justin had this way of seeing you, not just the surface polish but the grit beneath, like he'd framed 1,000 souls through his viewfinder. Afternoon blurred into a haze of shipboard distractions. Trivia in the atrium, we crushed it on 90s sitcoms. A limbo contest I wisely skipped. But as the sun dipped toward Cozumel, our first port call, tension coiled tight. Austin texted apologies laced with emojis, promises of sunset drinks to make it right. I deleted them unread, opting instead for Justin's invite to the photography workshop in the rec room. There, amid tripods and tipsy amateurs, he demoed his Nikon, capturing candids with a click that felt intimate. See this? He murmured, leaning close enough that I caught his scent, salt and sandalwood. Light's everything. It exposes what you want to hide, but it also makes the truth beautiful. His knee brushed mine under the table, accidental or not, sending a spark up my spine I hadn't felt with Austin in months. Port loomed golden on the horizon, a riot of turquoise and terracotta. Austin cornered me in the gangway, eyes pleading under the brim of his Panama hat. Come ashore with me? Just us. Let me show you I'm still the guy who fell for you in that dive bar. I hesitated, the old pull warring with fresh doubt. One walk, I conceded. But no more games, Austin. I'm done playing. Shore leave was a fever dream of Mayan ruins and overpriced margaritas. He held my hand through the crowded mercado, whispering sweet nothings about eloping in the Keys, starting fresh. For an hour, I let myself believe, let the sun bake away the chill. But as we boarded, buzzed and buoyant, I spotted him, the Philly finance bro, smirking from the rail, a fresh hickey blooming on his neck. The illusion shattered again, sharper this time. I stormed below decks alone, fury propelling me to the crew bar Justin had mentioned in passing, a dimly lit hole in the wall for off-duty staff, tucked behind the engine hum. He was there, propping the bar with a rum neat, surprise lighting his face as I burst in. Ethan? What the? Another round. I snarled to the bartender. Then to Justin. Your turn to listen. He did, without a word, as I unloaded the afternoon's farce. Rum burned going down, loosening the knots until I was rambling about Austin's charm offensive, how he'd saved me from a string of bad hookups post-college. He's my anchor, I slurred. Or was. Now it feels like he was just weighing me down. Justin's hand covered mine on the scarred wood, steady and warm. Anchors don't drag you under. They keep you from drifting. His thumb traced a circle on my knuckle. Electric. You're adrift, 'cause you're ready to sail solo. Or with someone who sees your horizon. The air thickened, charged like the storm brewing off the bow. I leaned in, or he did, doesn't matter, and our lips met, tentative then fierce, tasting of rum and revelation. It wasn't pity. It was hunger, mutual and raw, the kind that rewrites your map mid-voyage. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed, the bar's hum fading to white noise. This is crazy, I whispered, but my body sang otherwise. Crazy's what cruises are for, Justin replied. Grin wolfish. Question is, you gonna jump ship or ride out the squall? That night, as the ship plowed toward Grand Cayman, I chose the squall. Austin's texts went unanswered. I ghosted our suite for Justin's bunk, a narrow crew cabin smelling of salt and darkroom chemicals. We didn't sleep. Talked until dawn about everything and nothing, bodies entwining like lifelines in the dark. His touch was reverent, exploring scars I didn't know I had, whispering affirmations Austin had long forgotten. But morning brought the reckoning. A knock shattered the fragile peace. Austin, face thunderous, having tracked my keycard. What the fuck, Ethan? With the photographer? You're throwing us away for some deckhand fling. Justin tensed beside me, but I sat up, sheets clutched like armor. Us? There hasn't been an us since you chose that lounge over loyalty. Austin. This whatever it is, it's honest. You're not, he ranted, a torrent of blame and bargaining, but I held firm, the man beside me a silent bulwark. When Austin stormed out, vowing divorce papers and spiteful sublets, the door's slam echoed like closure. Yet as the days unspooled, snorkeling in Cayman's crystalline bays, Justin's camera capturing us mid-laugh, free and unscripted, doubt crept in. Whispers from crew, Austin cornering Justin in the galley, hissing threats about ruining a good man. And then, on the sail toward Jamaica, Justin vanished mid-afternoon. No texts, no sightings. Panic clawed my gut as I scoured decks, heart hammering like the engines below. The ship's PA crackled with announcements for steel drum lessons and spa specials, but it all blurred into static as I tore through the vessel like a man possessed. Jamaica's green peaks rose on the starboard side, a mocking paradise while my world tilted. Justin's bunk was empty, his camera bag gone, the air still holding his scent like a ghost. Where the hell was he? A fight with Austin? Some crew emergency? Or had I pushed too far, too fast, turning his kindness into a cage? I hit the sundeck first, scanning loungers for his Mets cap, then the gym where we joked about protein shakes and bad form. Nothing. Sweat slicked my back, not from exertion but dread, as memories replayed. His laugh in the moonlight, fingers tracing my spine like braille. This wasn't just a cruise fling. It was the first time in years I'd felt seen, not posed for. Desperation drove me to the bridge level, where officers in crisp whites coordinated the dance of this floating city. A deckhand, tattooed and sympathetic, pointed me toward the stern observation post. Saw your boy head that way with Hale earlier. Looked intense, intense. The word lodged like a hook. I sprinted aft, wind whipping my shirt, until I rounded the corner to the crew's smoking nook. There they were, Justin and Austin, silhouetted against the churning wake, voices low but laced with venom. Austin's back was to me, posture rigid. Justin leaned on the rail, arms crossed, that storm cloud gaze unyielding. You think you can just waltz in and play hero? Austin snarled, jabbing a finger. Ethan's mine. We've got history, a life. You're just the rebound fuck. Some blue-collar nobody with a Nikon and daddy issues. Justin's laugh was bitter, edged like broken glass. History? That's rich. Coming from the guy who ghosts his commitments. I know your type. Austin. Shiny on the outside, rot within. But he deserves better than your scraps. My blood ran cold. How did Justin know him? This wasn't random crew gossip. It was personal, laced with familiarity that twisted my gut. I stepped forward, gravel crunching underfoot, and they both whipped around. Austin's face drained of color. Justin's softened with regret. "Ethan," Austin stammered, stepping toward me. "This isn't. Save it." My voice was steel, forged in the forge of too many lies. I turned to Justin, heart fracturing anew. "You two know each other? What the hell is this?" Justin pushed off the rail, hands raised like parley. "Not like you think. I met him last year freelance gig at a Hamptons wedding. He was the best man, hitting on the bartender. We talked. He spilled about you then, too, how he was working through stuff. I told him to get his shit together or let you go. Guess he ignored the memo." Austin deflated, rubbing his neck. "Babe, it's nothing. Ancient history." "Justin's exaggerating." "Exaggerating," Justin cut in, voice rising like the tide. "You cried in my arms that night, Austin. About how you loved him but couldn't commit. How the closet at your folks' place in Connecticut still choked you. And now, you're out here playing house while sabotaging it behind his back." The pieces slammed together. Austin's hesitance at pride events, his flinches at double dates with my theater friends, the way he'd dodge questions about his conservative family. I chalked it up to internalized crap. But this was a chasm, wide and whispering of deceptions deeper than infidelity. I backed away, the deck tilting under me. "You talked to him? About us? While I was waiting at home like a fool." Rage warred with sorrow, a storm front colliding. Austin reached again, but I shrugged him off, storming past toward the bow, tears hot on my cheeks. Justin followed, calling my name, but I waved him off. "Not now. I need space. Something real." Jamaica's ports slid by in a blur of color, but I retreated to the suite, my suite now, Austin's bags already half-packed in passive-aggressive spite. I collapsed on the balcony chaise, staring at the endless blue, replaying it all. The cheating was the symptom, this buried history the disease. Hours later, as the sun bled into dusk, a knock pulled me from stupor. Not Austin, Justin, bearing a six-pack of craft IPA and that crooked grin, tempered now with apology. "Truce." He held up the bottles like peace offerings. "I should have told you sooner. Didn't want to poison the one good thing on this tub." I let him in, the door clicking shut like a verdict. We cracked beers on the balcony, the ship's wake foaming silver below. He explained, that Hamptons night, Austin drunk and desperate, confessing fears of coming out to his Wall Street dad, the pressure of their perfect life in Darien. Justin had listened, offered no judgment, just a shoulder and a cab ride home. "I blocked him after," he said. "Figured it was a one-off. Then you show up, all fire and fragility, and boom, karma's a bitch with a long memory." Fragility. The word stung, but in his mouth, felt like strength. "Why'd you stick around me, then?" "Pity project." He set his beer down, eyes locking mine with intensity that pinned me. "Nah. You reminded me of home, the Jersey grit, the dreamer's heart. Plus, that smile, lethal. I stuck 'cause I wanted to. Not to fix you, but to see where this goes." The kiss that followed was slower, surer than the bunk's frenzy. Tongues tentative, hands mapping with purpose. We tumbled inside, shedding clothes like old skin, the suite's king bed a battlefield of rediscovery. Justin moved like he photographed, deliberate, capturing every gasp, every arch, turning vulnerability into art. Afterward, tangled in sheets, his heartbeat a steady drum under my ear, I whispered, "This scares me." Austin was safe, even broken. "You're unknown. Unknowns where the stories live," he murmured, fingers combing my hair. "And yours? It's just starting." But safety's siren call echoed. Austin cornered me at dinner that night, the captain's formal affair, all crystal and caviar. He was polished, devastating in a tux, sliding into my booth uninvited. "We need to talk. Really talk. About us. The future." "Future?" I laughed. "Hollow. You mean the one where you confide in strangers instead of me?" His jaw tightened. "Jealous? Of a night I barely remember? Come on." Justin's a rebound, a distraction. But you and me, we're real. Roots. That lease in Brooklyn. The life we built. Roots. The word wrapped like vines, choking. Yet doubt festered. Was Justin just the thrill of the new, fading with the tan lines? Austin's eyes, pleading, held echoes of our first date, rain-soaked Central Park, his laugh chasing away my loneliness. I wavered, agreeing to a walk after dessert. The deck was fairy lit, stars pricking the velvet sky as we paced the perimeter. He spun a vision therapy, honesty, a commitment ceremony on Fire Island next summer. I fucked up, I know. But I can fix it. For us. His hand in mine felt familiar, a worn path. But as we paused at the rail, gazing at the bioluminescent wake, phosphorescent trails like secrets glowing in the dark, I pulled away. It's not just the cheating, Austin. It's the lies underneath. You talk to him about your fears, but not me. I'm your partner, not some confessor at a wedding. He deflated, the fight leaching out. I was ashamed. Dad's old school, fairy slurs at Thanksgiving. I didn't want you seeing that weakness. Weakness. I cupped his face, thumb brushing his cheek. That's what love does, holds the weak parts. But you chose hiding over sharing. And now, I don't know if I can unsee it. We stood there, the ship slicing night, until he nodded, broken but resolute. Take the time. But don't throw us away for a shipboard spark. He's not me, not you. The comparison lingered like smoke as I sought Justin in the late-night piano bar, his silhouette hunched over a scotch. He looked up, reading my turmoil in a glance. Rough seas. I slid beside him, ordering a double. He's fighting dirty nostalgia, promises, making me question if this, I gestured between us, is just escape. Justin's fingers laced with mine under the table, thumb stroking solace. Escape's fine if it's toward something. But yeah, I get it. Guy like him, he's the devil you know. He paused, sipping slow. Wanna know a secret? I almost called him after the Hamptons. Thought maybe we could have been friends. Or more. But I saw the ring on his keychain, yours. Knew you were the anchor he didn't deserve. The admission hung, vulnerable and raw. In that moment, with ivory's tinkling melancholy and waves whispering below, I chose. Leaning in, kissed him deep, tasting resolve. Then helped me cut the line. The next day in Ocho Rios, we ditched the group excursion for a hike into the Blue Mountains, Justin's idea, a quest for mist-shrouded coffee plantations and hidden waterfalls. Austin's glare followed us off the tender, but I didn't look back. The trail was brutal, humidity clinging like regret, but Justin's hand in mine made it bearable. We crested a ridge to a cascade thundering into an emerald pool. And there, stripping to boxers, we dove in, cold shock yielding to buoyant joy. Floating, water beating on his lashes, he grinned. This is it. The shot I've been chasing, life, unfiltered. I pulled him close, legs tangling in the current. Frame me in it. Back aboard. The idol cracked. A note slipped under my door. Meet me in the theater. Midnight. Truth time. Curiosity or masochism drew me there. The house was dark. Velvet seats empty save for Austin center stage. Projector flickering home movies. Us at Coney. Wind-burned and kissing. Christmas in the walk-up. Tinsel tangled. That Bushwick crawl where it began. Remember? He called softly as I descended the aisle. This is us. Not some tropical fever dream. Tears pricked. Nostalgia's blade was keen. I remember. But I also remember the silences. The walls you built. He clicked remote. Screen shifting to photos, him with the finance bro. Timestamped months old. I ended it. Therapy's helping. Dad knows now, disowned me, but fuck him. I want you. Fight for me. The plea gutted me. But as he stepped close, arms opening, I saw it, the cycle, the safety of familiar pain. I can't, I whispered. Not anymore, his sob echoed as I fled, the door sealing his grief behind. Justin waited in the corridor, arms open. You okay? Better. I lied. Then truth. Healing. We spent the sail to the Caymans in seclusion. His cabin a sanctuary of whispers and wonders. But on the final port night, as fireworks bloomed over Georgetown, a crewmate pulled me aside. Hale's in trouble. Man. Your ex stirred shit. Told the purser Justin's undocumented. Visa expired. They're detaining him at dawn. The world tilted. Undocumented? Justin. With his Jersey tales. The city grind, a lie, or half-truth. Betrayal's echo chamber roared. First Austin's secrets. Now this? I stormed his bunk. Finding him packing. Face ashen. Listen. Undocumented? You lied? After everything. He winced. Not lied. Omitted. Born in Mexico. Brought over at 5. Papers got messy after mom died. I've been fighting renewals. Freelance keeps me under radar. Why not tell me? Hurt lashed out. Sharp. 'Cause I wanted you to see me. Not the red tape. His eyes pleaded. This thing with Austin? He found out from that wedding chat, used it like ammo. Immigration's boarding tomorrow. Rage at Austin surged. But grief for Justin choked it. What now? Now? You sail home. I'll handle it. Lawyers. Appeals. Been here before. We clung through the night. Bodies fierce. As if touch could anchor him. Dawn came cruel. Agents in khakis escorting him away. His cap low. My hand trailing his until it couldn't. The ship horn blared departure. Cayman shrinking astern. I stood at the rail. Alone. The napkin with his number crumpled in my fist. Useless now. Ports apart. The Atlantic yawned wide as we turned north. The ship's wake a frothy scar healing too slow. 4 days to Miami. An eternity of empty suites and echoing decks. Austin kept his distance. A ghost in formal wear. His eyes hollow at mandatory meals. I pitied him. In flashes. The boy who'd once mapped my moles like constellations. But pity wasn't love's salvage. It was the eulogy. Justin haunted me worse. I'd fired off emails to pro bono immigration outfits. Scoured news for similar stories, but silence answered. His last words. Write the damn script. Make it ours. Looped like a mantra, fueling late-night scrawls on hotel stationery. Pages filled with our whirlwind. The hook of betrayal, the stranger's light exposing shadows. But art couldn't fill the void. It just framed it. On day 2 at sea, seasickness hit. Not from swells, but solitude. I wandered to the stern, that smoking nook now a shrine of what-ifs, when an envelope fluttered from a lounger. My name in Austin's scrawl. Read this. Then decide. Inside, a letter, ink smudged like tears, confessions of therapy breakthroughs, family fractures, his resolve to rebuild alone if needed. I betrayed you first, he wrote. But Justin? He hid too. We're both cowards. Choose the one who'll grow with you. Enclosed. A plane ticket home, first class. No strings and keys to the Brooklyn walk-up. It's yours. Sell if you want. Just know I loved you true. Once. The gesture landed like a lifeline tossed to a drowner. Pocketed it, throat tight, and sought the only soul who'd understand. The bartender from our rum night, Ramon, who poured without asking. To ghosts, he toasted, sliding a shot. They fade, Mijo. But the living, they fight back. Emboldened, I cornered the purser's office, demanding updates on Justin. The harried woman behind the desk stonewalled. Confidential, sir, until I name-dropped Austin's agency connections. Fine, she sighed, relenting a crumb. Detained in Miami, hearing pending. Your friend's got a record of good faith, but ICE is backed up. Could be weeks. Weeks. The word crushed. I thanked her, fleeing to the promenade where couples strolled arm in arm, oblivious. Spotting a quiet bench, I pulled out my phone, spotty signal be damned, and dialed the number from the napkin. Voicemail. Hail here. Leave a lens or a line. I poured it out. Fear. Fury. The ache of half-started stories. Fight this, Justin. I'll be there. Signal died mid-plea, but it was out. A flare in the fog. Evening brought a gala ball masquerade theme, feathers and finery masking the mundane. I donned a simple Zorro mask, black shirt unbuttoned to navel, channeling bravado. Austin appeared opposite, peacock plumes and haunted eyes, but I veered to the dance floor, losing myself in the crush. Bodies swayed to a cover of Wicked Game, the air thick with perfume and possibility. A hand tapped my shoulder. Ramon, off-duty in a boelo tie, grinning. Dance? Or drink? Both. We twirled. His lead firm, laughter bubbling as he spun me under lights. It was harmless. A bomb. Until Austin cut in, mask a skeletal grin. One spin, he murmured, pulling me close. For old times, the floor tilted, his hand on my waist a memory trigger. We moved in sync, years of muscle memory, his breath warm on my neck. I meant the letter, he said over the strings. No pressure. Just closure, if that's it. It's enough, I replied, stepping back as the song swelled. Gratitude flickered, but no spark. I melted into the crowd, finding Ramon again, then a group of theater kids from the improv troupe. Laughter chained us, masks slipping as stories spilled, divorces dodged, proposals botched. For hours, I was untethered, the ship a stage where I played lead. Midnight snack run led to the midnight buffet, a spread of midnight munchies under chandeliers. There, amid crab claws and chocolate fountains, I overheard crew gossip. Hale's lawyer pulled strings. Might get paroled to a sponsor. Hope surged. Electric. I texted the voicemail again, heard rumors. Hold the frame. Day 3 dawned gray, rain sheeting the windows like judgment. I holed up in the library, a wood-paneled nook with leather tomes and ocean views, pounding out script pages. Our story poured. Ethan's arc from betrayed to bold, Justin the catalyst with his own shadowed past. Climax brewing, a courtroom showdown, confessions under fluorescent glare. Felt cathartic, alive, until a shadow fell across the page. Austin, coffee in hand, tentative. Mind if I join? No agenda. I nodded, wary. He sat, stirring sugar absently. Therapist says I need to own my shit. So I cheated 'cause I was scared. Of commitment, of dad's ghost, of losing the straight facade that got me the job, the friends. You were collateral. The admission hung, heavy but honest. And the Philly guy, the Hamptons, distractions. Ways to numb. He met my eyes. But you were home. Still are. If you'll have me. Silence stretched. Rain pattering counterpoint. Part of me yearned, the ease, the shared vinyl collection, Sunday bagels. But Justin's touch lingered. A wilder call. I appreciate this, I said finally. The truth. But homes where they see all of you, Austin. Not just the parts that fit. He nodded, standing with grace. Fair. If you change your mind in Miami. Call. A squeeze of my shoulder. Then gone. Leaving ink-scented air and resolve. The storm cleared by lunch. Sun fracturing clouds like promises. I hit the deck for yoga. Downward dog dissolving tension. Then a solo spa session. Hot stones melting knots. Eucalyptus clearing the fog. Afternoon trivia with the theater kids devolved into charades. My dramatic flair earning cheers. For the first time, the cruise felt like mine, not ours, not theirs, but a pivot point. Evening brought a movie under the stars, Brokeback Mountain, ironic and aching. I bundled in a blanket, alone until Ramon plopped down, passing popcorn. Heavy watch, he noted as Ennis and Jack unraveled on screen. Yeah, my voice thick, but real. Messy love, regrets, the stuff scripts are made of. He nodded. You writing one? Yep. Gay boys on a boat. Secrets and storms. Sounds epic. His arm draped casual. Companionable. We watched in quiet solidarity. The film's tragedy a mirror to my limbo. As credits rolled, stars wheeling overhead, I felt it, not closure, but opening. Austin's letter, Justin's fight, they were chapters, not the book. Nightcap in the piano bar, solo this time. The Ivories crooned hallelujah, Cohen's ache fitting the mood. Midway, my phone buzzed, signal strong for once. Voicemail from Justin. It's me. Hearings tomorrow. Lawyer says 50-50. But hearing your voice, that's my ace. Keep writing. Love the lens on you. Love. The word landed soft. Seismic. I replayed it twice, grinning like a fool, then texted back, acing it. See you shoreside. Sleep came easy. Dreams of blue mountains and bioluminescent trails. Day for broke brilliant. The ship buzzing with debark prep. I packed methodically. Austin's gifts donated to Lost and Found. my journals tucked safe. A final deck walk, wind tousling hair, and there he was, Austin, leaning on the rail, gazing homeward. Beautiful, ha, he said as I approached. No pleading, just presence. Yeah. Full circle. He turned, smile sad but genuine. Go get your story. You deserve the plot twist. We hugged then, brief, brotherly, sealing the end without bitterness. Take care of the cat, I murmured. Always. Disembarkation in Miami was chaos. Lines snaking through terminals, humidity slapping like reality. I scanned for Justin, heart hammering, but no dice. Detention centers weren't welcome wagons. Uber to the airport, then a red-eye to JFK. The script clutched like talisman. Brooklyn greeted gray and gritty, the walk-up unchanged. Cat yowling at the door, coffee grounds stale. Austin had left a note on the fridge stocked. Lease in your name. Be well. And a check for half the down payment. Generous in defeat. Crashed. Jet-lagged and hollow. Waking to rain-lashed windows. Days blurred. Barista shifts amid hipster chatter. Script revisions by fluorescent kitchen light. Justin's updates trickled. Texts from a borrowed phone. Hearing delayed. But thinking of you. I replied with pages. Our co-authored lifeline. 2 weeks in, a knock jolted me from editing. Door swung wide to Justin. Duffel at feet. Grin weary but wicked. Visa stamped. Sponsor pulled strings. Some queer rights org saw my portfolio. He held up his Nikon. Fancy a sequel shoot? Relief crashed. Then joy. I yanked him inside. Door slamming as we collided. Kisses fierce. Hands greedy. Cat weaving indignant figure eights. We made love on the rug. Slow and sure. Then talked till dawn. His Mexico roots. The border crossing at dawn. The American dream's barbed edges. You're staying? I asked, tracing his tattoos, anchors, and waves. If you'll have me, his eyes searched. No more omissions. Full frame. Deal. Dawn filtered gray, but warm. Austin's ghost lingered. A scar. Not shackle, but Justin's presence healed it, stitch by stitch. Months unspooled. Him crashing on my couch, then sharing the lease. Gigs sinking, his photos illustrating my spec script. Sold to a indie fest. Austin, we crossed paths at a pride mixer. Awkward waves, then beers. Forging fragile friendship from the rubble. One night, Fire Island bonfire crackling. Justin proposed, not with rings, but a viewfinder, look through. See our forever. I did. And clicked. Fire Island's dunes whispered secrets to the surf. That September weekend, a bomb after the city's grind. The bonfire spat embers skyward. Faces gilded in the glow. Queer chosen families sprawled on blankets. Passing joints and stories like sacred texts. Justin's proposal hung between us. Not a question but an invitation. His Nikon a talisman heavier than any diamond. I peered through the lens. Framing us, him cross-legged. Sand-dusted. Eyes alight with that Jersey mischief. Me, windswept and wondering. The Atlantic a velvet backdrop. Click, I said, handing it back. But yeah. Forever sounds like the plot I want. His whoop scattered gulls. Arms crushing me close as cheers erupted. Our people, witnesses to the arc's bend. We weren't naive. Scars mapped our skins. Austin's betrayal a faint line on my heart. Justin's deportation scare a fresh bruise on his wrist from handcuffs. But here, Under a canopy of stars unpolluted by skyline glare, we chose the rewrite. Back in Brooklyn, life stitched into rhythm. Justin's freelance bloomed. Shoots for Out magazine, capturing trans activists in Washington Square, his empathy turning pixels to protest. I baristed mornings, scripted afternoons, our spec evolving into a pilot, greenlit by a streaming upstart hungry for authentic gay drama. Evenings, takeout on the fire escape, cat batting at his laces, trading lines like lover's code. Austin orbited peripheral, LinkedIn likes on my IMDb page, a coffee drop-off when Justin traveled for a Napa wedding gig. Proud of you, man, he'd say, no undercurrent, just the echo of what was. He'd landed a promotion, therapy sticking. Rumors swirled of him dating a sound engineer, open and out. Good for him. Closure's gift, rooting for the ex without the ache. Fall deepened, leaves carpeting the burrows like confetti from a parade we'd earned. Justin's visa stabilized, renewal hearings a formality now, thanks to that sponsor org's muscle. But shadows lingered. A call from his aunt in Oaxaca, visa lapsed for her green card bid. Family's the real border, he confided one night, head in my lap as I combed his hair. You cross it, or it crosses you. I nodded, throat tight. Then we build bridges. Visit next summer. Teach me tamales. His grin banished clouds. Deal. But you handle the mole. Spicy's your kryptonite. Humor as armor, we'd mastered it. Yet cracks showed. My script's climax, a confrontation mirroring our cruise, dredged nightmares. I'd wake gasping, Austin's face morphing to ICE agents, Justin vanishing into Miami haze. He'd hold me then, murmurs of here, solid grounding the panic. Thanksgiving loomed, a minefield for fractured families. Justin's invite to Jersey, his sister Lila's spread in Asbury, felt like leap. Mom's gone. Dad's a ghost, he said over pie scouting at Junior's. But Lila? She's the glue. Thinks you're the upgrade. I laughed, nerves fizzing. Upgrade? From your shipboard conquests. Conquests? He stole my forkful. Nah. You're the keeper. The drive was salt-streaked boards and Bruce Springsteen on loop. Asbury's faded glory a mirror to Justin's grit. Lila's bungalow hugged the shore, porch strung with lobster pot lights. Her hug fierce, tattooed arms, laugh booming. Finally, the script guy who snagged my brother. Past the gravy, storyteller. Dinner unfolded chaotic. Turkey charred at edges. Stories of Justin's teen rebellion. Snuck out shows at the Stone Pony. First camera a Polaroid from a flea market. No mention of borders, just belonging. As waves crashed audible through cracked windows, I felt it woven in, not visitor. Post-feast walk on the beach, Justin's hand cold in mine. Lila likes you. High praise. She vetted my prom date with a polygraph. Lucky me. Pausing at the jetty, I pulled him close. This? It's home. His kiss tasted of cranberry and salt. Knew you'd fit. Winter bit hard. Snow blanketing the bridge like icing on a bitter cake. My pilot-wrapped shooting in Astoria, me as consultant, stealing sets for Justin's behind-scenes reel. Premiere party at a Williamsburg loft. Critics buzzed. Toasts clinked. Austin's text lighting my phone mid-speech. Watched the screener. Nailed it. Beers soon? I replied yes. The olive branch easy now. Life layered, his sound guy. Marcus. A gentle giant with a laugh like thunder. Double dates at karaoke dives. Butchering total eclipse of the heart. In harmony. but spring unearthed thorns. Justin's Oaxaca trip, solo, to help Aunt's paperwork, stretched from weeks to a month. Bureaucracy a hydra. Texts grew sparse. Lines endless. Miss your coffee. Then silence. A void echoing the cruise's panic. I filled it with work. Script revisions. Bar shifts. Runs along the promenade where hipsters vaped and dreamed. Austin noticed, cornering me at a cast read-through. You okay? Looking haunted. Jet lag from worry. I sighed, spilling the basics. He listened. Then, call him. Or fly. Don't let ghosts win. His advice, unbidden but sound, sparked action. I booked a red-eye, landing in humid Oaxaca dawn, Zocalo alive with vendors, marigolds scenting the air. Taxi to the aunt's adobe, heart pounding. Door open to Justin, unshaven and stunned, then crushed in embrace. What the? Bridge building? I murmured into his neck. Missed my spicy kryptonite. Days blurred into markets and mountains. Him translating legalese. Me charming officials with broken Spanish. Nights in hammocks. Stars vast as possibility. Aunt Rosa's mole seared my tongue. Her pat on my cheek sealing approval. You keep him honest. Mijo. Back in Brooklyn. Tanned and tangled. We dove deeper. Pride Month hit feverish. Floats thundering 6th Avenue. Justin's lens capturing kisses amid confetti storms. My panel at the fest drew crowds. From betrayal to bonfire. Writing the gay heartbreak hit. Q&A veered personal. The cruise scene? Too real. Laughter rippled. But eyes met Justin's in the back row. His nod my anchor. Summer sweltered. Fire Island weekends a ritual. Dunes for dawn yoga. Pavilion dances till collapse. One sticky night. Bonfire low. He knelt again. This time with rings. Silver bands etched with waves and words. Full frame. Marry me. Make the sequel canon. Tears blurred the firelight. Yes. All in. Wedding planning wove whimsy. Ceremony on the beach. Asbury sunset. Lila officiating. Austin best man. Full circle. He toasted at the rehearsal. Arm around Marcus. To anchors that hold. Vows exchanged under gulls' cries. Sand shifting like time. I see you. All frames, storms, and stills. Forever my shot. Honeymoon echoed origins. A Keys cruise. Smaller. Ours alone. No betrayals. Just bioluminescent bays and whispered scripts. But en route to Havana, a storm brewed. Literal. Thunderheads stacking like doubts. Cabin bound. Waves rocking violent. Justin tensed beside me. Hate this. Feels like that detention night. I laced fingers. We're steady. No ICE in Cuba. He chuckled, but eyes shadowed. Post-storm. Deck clear. We leaned on rail. Horizon bruised purple. Ever think about Austin? What if? Nah. Truth. He's chapter 1. You're the series. Fall brought harvest. Pilot renewed. Justin's exhibit at MoMA PS1. Borders in focus. Migrants' gazes piercing glass. Opening night. Rosa flew up. Her English halting but hugs fluent. Austin cornered me amid champagne flutes. Happy for you? Man. Really? You too. Marcus waved from across. Hand in Austin's. Bridges held. Winter's hush gifted quiet. Snowed in scripts. His head on my shoulder as we plotted sequels. One eve. Fire crackling. Cat curled. He murmured. Kids? Someday? Surprise softened to wonder. Surrogacy? Adoption? Yeah. Little hails with your eyes. Spring bloomed defiant. Cherry trees pink against gray spires. Pride again, but now as marshals, leading the float. My keynote at the fest. Love's the ultimate plot twist. Betrayals build to this. Summer solstice. Beach vow renewal, annual. Our ritual. Bonfire high. Stars low. Justin's lens captured it. Us. Etched eternal. Yet life scripted curveballs. Fall diagnosis. My script's producer outed as predator. Project tainted. Backlash hit. Petitions. Protests. My name dragged in tabloids. Betrayed by the biz. Headlines sneered. Justin armored up. Fuck 'em. We indie it. Austin called. Need a sound guy? Marcus is in. Alliance forged. We crowdfunded, queer creators rallying. Funds flooding. Shoot in Bushwick lofts. Raw and real. Premiere smashed records. Critics hailing a humanist triumph. Winter deepened. Holidays hybrid. Jersey then Connecticut. Austin's olive branch to his dad. Uneasy but extended. Dinner tense. Slurs swallowed. But progress. A nod over pie. Proud. The old man grunted. Baby steps. New Year's. Rooftop under fireworks. Justin's arm tight. To us. Unshaken. Spring's thaw mirrored ours. Adoption papers filed. A toddler's photo haunting dreams. Summer sailed smooth. Havana returned storm-free. But autumn whispered warning. Justin's checkup. Routine turned urgent. Biopsy pending. Shadow on lung, old border stress. We held vigil. My hand in his as results came. Benign. Assist. Relief shattered into sobs. Him first. Scared I'd leave you mid-frame. Never. Vow renewed. Fiercer. Winter's gift. Nursery painted. Name chosen. Alex. For the anchor. Spring burst. Birth. Tiny cries echoing our first hook. Pride with a stroller. Float a family affair. Summer solstice. Beach eternal. Us three. Waves lapping lullaby. Justin's lens clicked. Legacy framed. Years layered like film. Alex's first steps on dunes. Austin's wedding to Marcus. Our vlogs chronicling the chaos. Betrayals? Faded reels. Lessons etched. One eve. Fire low. Alex asleep between. Justin whispered. Best shot ever. I kissed his temple. The story continues. Decades turn crept subtle. Gray threading our temples like silver nitrate on prints. Alex hit double digits, wild curls like Justin's. My dramatic flair in school plays. His questions probing. Dad, tell the cruise story again. The one with the bad kiss and the hero. We'd spin it sanitized. Betrayal as plot device. Stranger's secrets, the inciting incident. Our love, the redemption arc. Omission tactful. Truths for adulthood. Fire Island remained sanctuary. Annual pilgrimage. Dunes for kite flying. Pavilions for his tween dances. Bonfires where we'd renew. Rings glinting like beacons. Career crests varied. My series spawned spin-offs. Emmy nods stacking shelves. Justin's docs screened Sundance. Border frames a canon staple. Austin's production house boomed. Queer-led. Collaborating on our reboots. Marcus's scores wove magic. They're twins, born same year as Alex. Playdate staples. A chosen cousinhood. Family fused. Lila's beach bar expansion. Rosa's visits bearing mole kits and marigold wreaths. Even Austin's dad softened. Grandkids thawing the frost. A gruff well done. Son at Alex's baptismal barbecue. yet undercurrents stirred. Alex's crush on a classmate sparked the talk, early, earnest. Love's not a script, kid, Justin said, knee to knee on the fire escape. It's edits, reshoots, but always authentic. I nodded, throat full. And sometimes, it starts with a shattered glass. His eye roll fond. You two and that hook, holidays hybridized. Asbury turkeys yielding to dairy and hams. Tensions comedic now. Dad's slurs swapped for dad jokes. One Christmas. Snow blanketing the estate. Alex unearthed old photos. Austin and me. Young and luminous. You were happy? Were, I echoed. Then we grew into better. He nodded. Sage beyond years. Like plot progression. Winter's hush birthed Justin's memoir. Shuttered secrets. Pages raw with border boyhood. Cruise collision. Our co-authored life. Launch at books are magic. Brooklyn buzzing. Austin emceeing. To the man who framed my failures into fortune. Signings stretched late. Fans queuing tales of their twists. The teen. Outed mid-read. Your story gave me courage. Justin's hug fierce. Own the frame. Spring's renewal. Alex's bar mitzvah. Hybrid rite. Beach sand synagogue vows echoing ours. To Bridges. Toasting with Manischewitz. Summer sailed to Havana again. Alex wide-eyed at classic cars. Conga's pulsing calles. Storm skirted us, but talks deepened. His dreams of film, my fears of legacy. You'll direct, Justin prophesied. I'll shoot. Fall's harvest. Docuseries greenlit. Alex interning gopher to genius. Austin's health scare routine check. All clear rallied us closer. Hospital vigil a redux of our storms. Winter wrapped gentle. Twins quinceanera. Alex's date awkward charming. Pride evolved him marching. Sign bold. Love's plot twist. A decade's end. Solstice bonfire high. Alex 18. College bound. Gap year in Oaxaca. Building bridges. He grinned. Rose's echo. Justin and I. Lines etched like scripts. Leaned into flames. Best sequel, he murmured. Endless runtime. Years cascaded. Alex's NYU thesis, our cruise doc. Oscar buzz. Weddings woven, his Takai. A cinematographer with Justin's fire. Grandkids toddled dunes. Tiny feet in our prints. Austin's retirement bash. Fire Island Pavilion. Toasts to the villain redeemed. Marcus's arms steady. Hero arc. Babe. My 60th. Surprise screening. Life real. Justin's edit hooks to horizons. Laughter. Tears. His whisper. Masterpiece. Winter's final hush. Asbury porch. Lila's laugh fading. Rose's stories stilled. But us? Enduring. Spring eternal. Alex's directorial debut. Can Palm. Dedication. To the anchors Ethan and Justin. Shattered to shining. Summer solstice. Beach timeless. Waves lapping. Fire crackling. Grandkids' queries. Grandpa's. The story. We'd spin it anew. Betrayal's glass. Stranger's light. Love's long take. Once upon a cruise, Justin began, my hand in his. And they framed happily, I closed. Ever after. Unscripted. Unbroken.